Brittany here with Chrono Yoga and day 4 of our chakra tuning, moving up from our Manipura to our anahata, or our solar plexus and belly chakra, to our heart chakra. And as we do so, we're going to start off rolling our shoulders back and imagining a very vibrant and growing green right at our heart for 3 nice deep breaths. This is our visualization for today, and we can come back to this at any point where we need to focus our mind, imagining that growing green, growing throughout our entire practice, right at our heart. Second technique we're going to use is tuning in with the ancient frequency of yum. It sounds like yum, but it's actually spelled Y-A-M. And we'll start yumming out our exhales, deep breath in. Yum. 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 Gently opening our eyes. This is going to be the mantra, our second technique that we get to use anytime our mind needs a little bit more centering throughout our practice to really tap into our heart chakra. And our third technique is going to be affirmations. Yesterday, we told ourselves that we love ourselves, we respect ourselves, we appreciate and accept ourselves. Today, we're taking that to the next level. Our affirmations are: I deeply love myself and I completely accept myself. Getting a little bit deeper than yesterday, which may stir up some different thoughts, but let's give it a try. I deeply love myself. I completely accept myself. I deeply love myself. I completely accept myself. This is our third technique, using whichever one throughout our practice. Anytime your mind starts to slip, using these techniques to bring it back to tuning our hearts. Next 5 breaths, we're going to pick which one suits us best and concentrate on for 5 deep breaths. Gently opening our eyes, and we're going to come down onto our backs to start warming up our heart chakra with some beautiful bridges. But first, we'll lay nice and flat. Let our body just sink into the ground below us. Nice deep breaths in. Complete breaths out. Letting tension go from the shoulders, the neck, the lower back, the legs. When we're ready, gently sliding the soles of our feet onto the mat. Now you see my feet are slightly in front of my knees. It's going to be perfect so that when I come up, my feet come right underneath my knees. Before we do, let's walk our hands underneath our butts. Walk our shoulders together, starting to open up our heart. We can even interlace our fingers underneath our butts. We're going to inhale, press through the toes, engage the thighs, engage the glutes, lift the hips. Exhale, lower them down. Using our mantras, our visualizations, inhaling up and exhaling in for 3 more breaths. Pressing through the toes, engaging the thighs, engaging the glutes for a little bit more. And just one more breath like this. Now we're going to press the body all the way up. Exhale here. Then we're going to inhale, lift our right leg up. Exhale, fan it down. Inhale the left leg up. Lift those hips. Exhale, fan it down. 4 more times on each side. Keeping those shoulders together. Keeping the hips lifted. 3 more breaths on each side. Just one more. Grounding the toes, pressing through the toes, engaging the thighs, engaging the glutes. 5 belly breath here. Using our mantras and our visualizations to keep our focus. 3 more belly breaths. We'll inhale, press through the toes, and exhale, gently lower down. We're going to tuck our knees to our chest and gently rock side to side, massaging our lower back, and rocking forward and backward up onto our seat and into our tabletop. Now we're going into our tabletop to get the right placement of our hands. We're going to turn the palms out. Turning the palms out so the pointer fingers are facing forward and the fingers are nice and spread. We want to walk our knees back so that we can gently lower down, palms underneath the shoulders. We're going to roll the shoulders into the back, elbows into the side, press through the fingers. We're going to put the fleshy part of the toes, the tops of the toes on the mat. Deep breaths in. Complete breaths out. Now we're going to press through the fingers, lift the body until the belly button's the last thing on the mat. Roll the shoulders back, elbows into the side. 5 deep breaths here. We want to keep those shoulders rolled back. It's going to really help us open up our heart. 3 more breaths. Now we're going to spread our feet nice and wide so that we can press back into our child's pose. We want to do these complementary stretches in between so that we don't put too much tension on our lower back. For every minute we're folding, we want a minute where we're opening our hearts. We want a minute there where we're folding so that we stay balanced. Deep breaths in. Complete breaths out. When we're ready, we're going to gently make our way back onto our bellies, palms underneath the shoulders, elbows into the side, toes on the mat, tops of the toes. Palms still gently turned up, elbows into the body, shoulders roll back. This time we're going to press all the way up into our king cobra, still rolling those shoulders back for 5 deep breaths. Just 4 more. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, let it go. Press through the fingers, roll the shoulders back, elbows in. Now we're going to press up onto the knees. Since that was a little bit of a deeper heart opener, we'll go into a deeper forward fold, walking the hands out in our extended puppy. You're going to feel this, you're going to notice this feels really good on your lower back. Breathing into any tension we're feeling to loosen up our body. 3 more breaths here. When we're ready, gently making our way up, walking our body forward, lowering back down, palms underneath the shoulders, shoulders roll back, elbows in. This time we're going to put the fleshy part of our toes on the mat. We're going to press up all the way into our cobra, roll those shoulders back, lift the thighs, roll over the toes, coming all the way to our upward facing dog for 5 deep breaths. Each is getting a little bit deeper. We're opening our heart a little bit more. Eyes come all the way up. 3 more belly breaths. Roll over the toes. Press back. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Really sinking that chest, breathing into the hamstrings. Just 2 more. We're going to come to our plank, lower all the way down onto the belly. Now, we're going to keep our chest lifted, interlace our fingers behind the back. We're going to come into our locust pose, lifting up the feet, lifting up the hands. 5 breaths here. Keeping those shoulders rolled down and back. Keeping the knees, the toes facing the ground. 3 more belly breaths. Inhale, extend. Exhale, back in. And bring our hands underneath our shoulders. Press back to our child's pose for 5 nice deep breaths. Letting the body just sink into the mat. Noticing any tension we carry in our lower back from opening our heart. Just noticing it, not judging it or putting too much on it. 2 more breaths. Gently making our way back to our bellies. Lowering down. We're going to bring our hands back behind our back. Now we're going to bend our knees in. Grab hold of our ankles. Just going to get nice and comfortable here. Roll those shoulders out. Let the hips be loose so that we press up. We're not too tense. Now we're going to push the ankles away from the body. We're going to lift up the knees and come up into our bow. Deep breaths in. Complete breaths out. 4 more belly breaths. Pressing the ankles away and lifting the knees. Just 3 more. Inhale, come up a little higher. Exhale, back onto the belly. Palms underneath the shoulders. Press back again to our child's pose. We're going to stay here for 10 breaths before we go into some more major heart openers. Letting the body go loose. Letting tension go. When we're free of tension, it's a lot easier for us to open our hearts. 3 more belly breaths. We're going to press through the fingers and gently twist the body, left arm underneath the right. 3 deep breaths. This is gently opening up our obliques, making it easier for us to breathe. Gently switching sides, right arm underneath the left. Ground the shoulder, ground the temple. 3 breaths here. Pressing through the left hand, we're going to come back up. Now we're going to go into a pretty major heart opener. We're going to go into our camel pose. We're going to start off standing up onto our knees. Now we're going to loosen the body a little bit before we go into it. We want our ankles to be right behind our knees, our hips stacked over our knees. Now when we're going into our camel, what's important here is that we're keeping our hips over top of our knees. When they start to go back, we start putting pressure on our back, and it's not very good for our bodies. Let's do our best to keep our hips here. If we can't go back with that, that's fine. We're okay. Now for our camel, we may want to use a block or 2. We'll get to that in a minute. I'll give you a minute to grab those if you need to. Maybe press a little pause. We're going to start. Inhale, drop our right hand to our right ankle. Left arm comes up. Exhale, center. Inhale, left to left. Right arm up. Exhale, center. Just loosening up the back, loosening up the side. Deep breaths in. Complete breaths out. 3 more breaths on each side. Maybe closing the eyes to tune in, to visualize. Maybe repeating our mantras. Maybe going through our affirmations. One more breath each side. Finding our way to center, now we're going to make our way into our camel. So if you would like to use a block, you can put it right between your ankles, and then when you're reaching back for a block, instead of coming all the way down to our ankles, to our heels. For those of us who are familiar with a camel, we start by turning the palms out, reaching back for the insides of our ankles. Now, as we do this, we press our hips forward and we just focusing on arching our back. Maybe our fingers come to our thighs first, our calves first, and then walk to the heel. Pressing the hips out, rolling the shoulders back, our eyes come up. 5 belly breaths here. Just 3 more. Making our way up onto our fingers, gently guiding the hands to the lower back and guiding our body up to straight. We're going to sit back on our ankles and come into our rabbit's pose. Now when we're going to come off our ankles, it just makes it easier to transition. We're going to ground the crown of our head, put the fleshy part of our toes on the mat, reach back for our heels or our ankles, and press the heels away from the body. You're going to feel this loosening out the vertebrae in our spine. Now we don't want to drop the shoulders, we want to tuck them back. 5 belly breaths here. This should feel very good after our camel. 3 more breaths. Releasing the palms, pressing through the fingers, coming back up. We're going to gently make our way onto our backs. Now we're not quite ready to tune out. We have one major heart opener before we do that. So let's keep the soles of our feet grounded and come down on our backs. we're going to go into our wheel pose. Now, for those of us who are intimidated by our wheel, that's fine. You don't have to go into your bridge instead. For the rest of us, we're going to turn our palms out, fingers in towards the body, right underneath the shoulders. Engage the elbows in towards one another, press through the fingers, activating them. Press through the toes and lift up the hips first, coming into the bridge. Then we're going to press through the fingers to come onto the crown of our head like we did in our rabbit. And then we're going to gently press through the fingers, lift the bodies up into our wheel. Coming here for 5 deep breaths. We want the palms turned out underneath us, pointer fingers facing our toes. 4 more belly breaths. Pressing through the toes, lifting the hips, engaging the thighs. Just 2 more. Gently bending at the elbows, grounding the crown, coming back to the shoulders and lowering the butt down. Beautiful job. You've really opened up your heart. So now it's time for us to tune out of our practice. We're going to slide our feet out a little, palms back underneath the butt, integrate those shoulders together in the back. Maybe interlace the fingers, press through the toes, coming into our bridge for 5 deep breaths. Engaging the thighs, lifting the hips. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, let it go. Remembering our mantra, 3 more breaths. Remembering our visualizations and affirmations too. When we're ready, inhale the right leg up. Exhale it down. Inhaling the left leg up. Exhaling down. 4 more breaths on each side. Just 2 more. Grounding the feet down. Inhale, lift the hips. Engage the thighs, engage the glutes. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, down. 3 more breaths. Inhale up 1 more time. Let go of the hands, roll out the shoulders. Exhale, lower down. We're going to straighten the legs out and tune out into our Savasana. Closing our eyes. We'll let the tension go from our body, from our toes and our ankles, our knees, our shins, our calves, our thighs, our lower back and hips, letting our lower back be grounded and supported, letting any tension go from the abdomen, rolling the shoulders down away from the ears, maybe grounding the palms if there's still thoughts on the mind, turning them up if it's nice and clear. Rock the head side to side. And find our way back to center, making sure our head is rested in a comfortable position. We'll keep our eyes closed, return our breath to our everyday normal breathing. For the next 1 minute, we have nowhere to go and nowhere to be but right here and right now. Bring our attention back to the body, gently moving the fingers and the toes. Allow our hands to come together at heart center. As one knee enters the chest at a time, we'll gently rock over to our right side and into our sleeping baby, preparing our body for motion. Take 3 nice deep breaths here. And when we're ready, we're going to gently press through the ground below us to return to our seat, into our easy pose, hands at heart center. Now for the next 5 breaths, we're going to tune out on our own, whether that may be visualizing a very vibrant at this point green right at our heart, or whether that's repeating the mantra yam, or whether that's going through the affirmations. I deeply love myself. I completely accept myself. That is on us for the next 5 breaths. We'll gently open our eyes, end our practice looking at one another, bowing to one another, bowing to our beautiful bodies, and honoring the light within each of us, which is the same. Namaste. Thank you for another beautiful practice. I hope you're enjoying this. And if you're not watching this in real time, you can always come back to these practices when you need a chakra-tuning warm-up. And there's also the yoga quick fixes that'll be available the week after this airs. They're going to be Kundalini ones to help us just get a quick fix, a nice 3 to 5 minute fix on getting our chakras in line. But remember, you can always come back to this when you need more love and compassion in your life. Thank you. See you tomorrow.